All right, welcome B2B leaders. This is your executive briefing, and if you're thinking about your growth strategy for 2026, then you absolutely need to hear this. We're going to break down some massive market shifts that are happening right now.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at why the old playbook is totally broken, dig into the two huge disruptors causing all the chaos, and then, most importantly, give you a clear, actionable plan so you can come out on top.
Okay, let's just start with a reality check, something I think every single marketing leader is feeling right now. The playbook that got us here, it's not going to get us to our next growth target. It's broken.
So let me ask you this. Does it feel like you're spending more and more just to get the same results? Or maybe even less? Yeah, you are not alone. This isn't just you. The fundamental mechanics of how we do B2B marketing are shifting under our feet. And look, let's be super clear, this is not some temporary slump. We're talking about the core systems, the targeting, the measurement we've all relied on for years. They're becoming obsolete. Trying to get efficient growth with those old methods, it's becoming pretty much impossible.
So, you might be asking, what's behind all this? What's driving this breakdown? Well, it's being aggressively accelerated by two huge, powerful, and kind of opposing forces. We're calling them the twin disruptors.
Picture this. You're being hit from two sides at the same time. On one side, you have signal loss. With all the privacy regulations and the death of third-party cookies, it's getting so much harder to find and track your ideal customers. And then on the other side, you have AI saturation, just this absolute flood of generic AI-generated content that's making it nearly impossible for your message to stand out and actually build trust.
And this isn't some small change. It's a huge disruption. Get this, 61% of marketers, a huge majority of your peers, believe marketing is going through its biggest disruption in 20 years because of AI. Think about that. This is a once-in-a-generation kind of shift.
And this right here, this is the great paradox, isn't it? A whopping 80% of us are already using AI for content creation. So the very same tool that's promising all this amazing efficiency, well, it's also creating this saturation problem that we all have to fight through. And this quote really just hits the nail on the head. Kieran Flanagan from HubSpot points out that today, more content is generated by AI than by humans. But, and this is the key part, it's mostly average. Your audience, your customers, they're starting to seek out human-created content, and they're actively tuning out all that generic AI-generated stuff.
Okay, so the external signals we used to rely on are fading away, and the market is just getting louder and louder. So where do we turn? What's the answer? Well, it's time to look inward.
And this right here is probably the single most important strategic shift you need to make for 2026, your own database. That is now your most valuable, your most reliable asset for growth. Period.
Because with those external targeting signals becoming so unreliable, your greatest advantage is the data you already own. And mastering that data through really deep, sophisticated segmentation, that's not a nice to have anymore. It is the absolute foundation of the new playbook.
But listen, having great data is only half the battle, right? You can have the best targeting in the world, but you still need a powerful message to deliver. So let's move on to the second pillar of our new strategy. And that pillar is your brand point of view, or POV. What is that? It's your sharp, distinct, credible perspective on the world. It's your answer to all that AI-generated noise. It's the human, authentic voice that actually builds a real connection and trust. And the data shows this is where the smart money is going. The top branding investments for the highest ROI, it's not just about more ads. It's about brand awareness, customer experience, and solid brand messaging. Leaders are focusing on these foundational things that create a memorable, consistent experience. So, this is how it all comes together. This is the winning strategy for 2026. You use that deep database segmentation to find the right people, and then you deliver your sharp brand point of view to them at exactly the right time. That's the 1-2 punch.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually put it into practice? Let's break it down. Here's a simple 3-step framework you can take back to your team. All right, let's get tactical. Step 1, you have to audit your first-party data. And I mean really audit it. Get a crystal clear picture of what you have and build a smart segmentation model. Then, step 2, define and sharpen your brand POV. This is where you codify your unique take on the market. What's your story? And finally, step 3, and this is crucial. You operationalize AI, but not for generic content, No, you use it to scale the delivery of your unique POV to those key segments you just identified. That's the magic formula.
Look, this isn't just about some new campaign for next quarter. This is a fundamental shift in strategy. Your competitors are already adapting. So the real question you have to ask yourself is this: is your data and is your brand truly ready for 2026? Because this is what's going to define the market leaders for the next decade.